his bestie, coach, girlfriend?
She's good. How is the other half?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to stepping through my own process with you to test it out and feel it out before we do it for the retreat in a couple of weeks' time. So, yeah. And this whole new moon, let's just kind of frame up what the actual truck is this new moon change shift crap going on. Help me understand it.
Okay. So,
just to frame up, because I don't do that moony, cycle-y, weirdy things.
Yeah, the moony, cycle-y, weirdy things is just my own interpretation of what I feel. I just relate it to the days, dates, and containers that the moony retrogrades planets lie in. So new moons, full moons, and the planetary retrogrades have a representation for what I'm going through, and I always just deliver my own interpretation. So I can deliver you my interpretation. I don't know what other people talk about because I don't read into their stuff. So I can share with you what...
I don't care what other people say. I care what you say.
Good, because I got stuff to
say. So you dropped out, Wi-Fi, maybe because you're in your car, and then you reconnect and you're in your back seat.
So I thought maybe the sun was heating up my phone.
Maybe.
That's just why I thought I've jumped back in. You should see what I've set up now to do this. The new paradigm, which to me is just living and operating from our truth. Exactly what I was explaining. And I had my own inclination one day to realize it's a choice now. We've done enough healing and delayering, and at what point do we actually stop doing that and just live from our truth rather than always going back over the past? And that has then led me into also reading. So anything I do read is actually from Elizabeth Peru. I tend to have my own senses and feelings, and then something will pop up from her and I'm like, oh, is that what I'm sensing? She's my confirmation, I guess. And she has said on the 10th of June that we actually have the new Earth frequency of 5D upon us. But the minute that I read that, I thought, well, it is a choice now. We really are choosing to live in 3D or 5D, essentially. I don't know what the 4D is and why we miss that, or we just jump over it, or that's the healing. I haven't got that interpretation yet. But since reading that, I've just been, I guess, more empowered, more conscious. I can see that I'm living so much more from my truth that the programming and conditioning don't really apply anymore. You know, there's still memories of why we do stuff, and whether we remember from our upbringing or parents or aware of that, it's just not as thick, it's not as heavy, and it's not as like we give up in a way. I feel like I'm taking more charge of my life than ever before, and I feel like by having this inclination that there's this 5D energy in the earth beneath our feet, you know, the more grounded we can be as well, the more we're embodying us just operating from our truth, from our heart space. Besides the planetary retrogrades to add to it, I don't feel is necessary to talk about. I feel like the potent energy where people are like, what is going on? It's extreme, big, intense energy where everyone just feels like all their stuff's come up to the surface because it has. We can't hide from ourselves anymore. All of our shadow, all of our darkness, all of the parts of ourselves that we once denied, dismissed because of whatever's happened in the past that caused us or somebody else pain. So we've decided to bury all that shit down, and the pain and trauma is up for show. It's like all of our wounds are on the surface of our skin now. We cannot hide it. And this doorway period to me is like, without all of that cleaning out, you don't get to live from 5D because you've always got a part of yourself you're hiding, and that's not living from your truth. That's not living, you know, in your heart space, essentially actually loving all of who you are.
And so for people who may be at the start of their journey, I'd just like to give some reference points, particularly for myself and what we're going to be doing for the next couple of hours between the two of us, and examples that can help them make sense of what we're talking about. So one really tangible example is conflict in conversations, in situations, in family dynamics. I had a conflict about a week ago with a really dear friend of mine, and this stuff was just aired, and it was difficult and it was challenging, and it was hard to receive on both ends of our human experience and interpretation of what was going on for each of us. But what was magic was time out, And then within minutes of reconnecting, saying, I'm sorry, I'm not sure where that came from. Don't know what that was. I don't know why I responded that way. But I'm value you so much that I felt it was okay to air this stuff and not hold it back. And what that created was space afterwards that can only sometimes in these kind of evolutions of time and planetary alignment or whatever we want to call it, that allows these prickly undercurrents to come through. And it can be challenging, as you're saying, but the harmony on the other side is it's done. It was done within minutes. And the airing and sharing is the beautiful growth that we get from it. And that how the journey for both individuals can benefit. I guess, we have lessons in different ways and different capacities, and the insights come at different times. The rhythm of life and the rhythm of the universe and the journey that we need to take, as frustrating as it is when we're in it, when you land in the place of understanding it or accepting it, that's where true inner peace comes from, because we're like, that all makes sense. And we're humans who need logic to make sense. And when we can surrender, that's been the struggle. The human aspect is then able to kind of let the guard down and just trust and just believe that what we're working towards will come. This is just part of the stepping stones.
So being driven from that place is what we're used to. Now when things feel like they're so slowed down and we're really put on hold and we have to trust, we have to be patient, it's just like it's taking all of our strength, yet all we ever have to do is just let go. So there's no strength needed until we get to the point of realizing that all we ever had to do was stop holding on so tightly, so things didn't have to be so hard and so difficult. And all we're ever doing is fighting resistance. And the struggle is what's creating any of that stress, I feel, in the first place anyway. But we don't know that until we've been through that so many different ways in so many areas of life with so many different belief systems to have to go over and over, that once we've got a full embodiment of money, of relationships, of different mindset beliefs, whatever that is, that's going to look and feel out in so many different ways in your external world for you to be able to integrate that in. So when that amazing relationship comes, that amazing property, that amazing opportunity, money, all the other things that are external, you're already at peace with yourself. You're not attached to any of those external items. You can just accept it and appreciate it for what is, because you're also open to receiving it, to allow it in the first place, which is most of our problems. But to then actually give it the gift and the joy and the appreciation of what that can mean for you, the people around you, the community you serve in. So it's like you don't get given, not that it plays rules like that, but you don't get given those amazing opportunities that you're desiring until you are so ready to handle it and accept it and appreciate it for what it is. So when we feel like we're struggling, we don't have enough money and we can't find the lover or whatever our problems are, it's because internally we're not in a place ready for it.
We're not in alignment with that abundance. And I'm sure that will trigger and push some buttons of other people watching or observing this, but that's what you and I believe is, until you have alignment within yourself, it's not that you can't receive when you're not in alignment. You just might possibly sabotage. Basically, short answer.
Yeah, or it's another.
How many people win the lottery?
Yeah.
Brilliant. You've just manifested magnificently. But they can't hold on to it. They don't know what to do with it, because there's a lot of things that I don't know the tax implications. I don't know how to manage trust funds. There's a bunch of stuff would let me optimize and fully leverage and make use of that kind of windfall or manifestation to its best opportunity.
Yeah.
So that's my take on things.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
What are we going to do? What are the viewers going to see next?
Well, I'd like to ask you a few questions.
The challenge I've been struggling with in my business, and then we'll bring it back to the personal, is what's the point in doing my marketing? What's the point in keep flogging, which is what the energy feels like, just pushing uphill when people aren't ready, or my reach isn't wide enough that enough people aren't seeing my posts about how I can support them. So what's the point? And it's a waste of time. And last night I was losing a lot of sleep over this concept of, well, actually you're wasting time by not doing your marketing. All right, so where have you been wasting time in your life? So that's the business way I've picked up on identifying what the problem is. So now we're dropping into, well, what is it about me and time? And I feel it's a past life thing that is holding me back right now in this window of life of releasing. So to answer your question, how am I feeling right now? A little bit excited, a little bit trepidatious. So she's not really moved, but she changed her t-shirt, just keeping everyone on their toes. I think I wouldn't notice this.
So we just don't throw out projects for nothing. That's why it's heart-centered. We have a lot of time and energy because we've been through it. We've gone through our own personal experiences of why the content is packaged up the way it is anyway. But I feel like we just go next level. We go to the depth. We get a new perspective, because when you then deliver your creation, when you then stand up and actually host that retreat, you have then gone through every single one of those things that the ladies that you're attracting is going through right now. So you can just say, look, I just went through that last week. I just had that idea. I've just cleared this. This is how I did it. This is how I can serve you, how I can support you. So you just go to a whole new level of depth of your awareness and understanding of the content that you're about to deliver and facilitate, just so you can be truly of service and to really hold space for the ladies that you're attracting.
Yeah, I think what was also coming up for me, additional to that, is we are constantly growing and fast. As healers, we are constantly working on ourselves. And I think the fresher it is, the most up-to-date and recent our experience is, the richer and deeper it is. So it's like adding a way of explaining what you just said, is like, this is really the best of me right now. Hello, birdie. It's much stronger than when I created this 6 months ago. I've now got fresh reference points, and it's deeper because I am a more powerful coach than I was 6 weeks ago. So yeah, that's where I'm coming from. So shall we just run through the steps that we have created that we're going to be leading through in this retreat?
Go for it.
Yeah. So the first one, obviously, and I've touched on it, is to identify whatever it is that needs to be released. Surrendering attachments to outcomes, to objectives, to goals. And, you know, the power of manifestation is only as powerful as the space that we have within us to create and attract in. So if we're so caught up with energy of desire, there's no space to receive because we're focused on finding it instead of receiving it. So the first thing we need to do is identify what is it that we want and what is the blocks to that. And it sounds simple, but not necessarily. It took me a good 24 hours myself to really work it out. The second one then is to release that. So if we need to release an attachment or release an identity or a burden or some baggage crap from our childhood that's stopping us, that is a belief or an axiom around why we can't have it, why we don't have it, why we want it. So it's releasing whatever negative hold we have that's creating the barrier or restriction. Then the third is to forgive ourselves or the thing not coming to us, because there's a lot of blame on the world, a lot of blame on the law of attraction doesn't work. Well, you're a crook and you're a charlatan for saying that this law stuff works. It's like, well, it works when everything else is in alignment. So we're going to forgive ourselves for not being in alignment, perhaps. Forgive our childhood for not giving us the lessons in order to have what we want. Forgive the other people who've tried in the past. It's a whole different way we might forgive. And certainly look at the blame on the story we've attached in the past. Then the fourth one is to repair. This is where, for you and I, the deep healing comes in of what's the wound at a cellular level, at the karmic, what past life, what stuff has these thoughts, these limiting views and perspectives, what needs to be healed and released at a deeper level in order to accept. So we do the releasing, but then we do some repairing as well. And the final fifth step is to attract it. Well, what needs to shift? We've done all this work in the first 4 steps. What else needs to happen? Maybe I need to sign up for a class, or maybe I need to do something, or maybe I need to do a practical thing of cleaning out my closet to make space for the man that I'm trying to attract in my life. Whatever it might be that we are.
And put him in the closet.
What was that?
And put him in the closet.
Put him in the closet.
You said clear out your closet to welcome in the man. I just imagined putting him in the closet when you said that, the way you said
let's clear the skeletons out of the closet. So yeah, that's the fifth step of, well, what practical actions do we need to keep creating space? Because a lot of us get so caught up with the doing, and I'm a big one for the masculine and material possessions. Like, so this thing that I'm trying to attract, where is it going to actually work into my life? How is it going to align with the lack of space I have? So that's the 5 steps. So we're going to work through that quite quickly, and we're going to record it and share it over the next few days, I think. I don't know. It depends on how long we talk and babble on in between and how long the videos are going to be. I say babble with love. That's both of us.
For sure.
All right.
Okay. So that was our tangent. Let's come back. You've expressed how you feel. Has that changed in those last few minutes?
It's anticipation.
Okay. Oh.
Potential. What could be? What's on the horizon? And so the context for people watching this is, in the past, when I've stepped into my ultimate power, I've been persecuted. That little bit of fear, so that's why she's wasting time, it's procrastination to do what needs to be done, because in the past it's led to death.
And death in past lives. In this current life, where do you see the incongruence of you just living? I'll let you just answer whatever you're seeing and feeling, and we'll go deeper.
Well, the incongruence, so the challenge is, technically I'm living the life I want, which is freedom to do what I want in my days. It feels like there's an unworthiness element, and it's not possible, and that it's going to end in ruin.
I feel like our next step is to actually connecting with our womb space.
Okay. Vulnerability has come up.
Okay. In what way?
I need to be vulnerable.
To?
I need to share the story, the journeys of whatever's going on, to build a connection through my marketing. So womb.
So if we connect in either visually or by placing our hands over our womb space, our lower belly.
And now that pain that I've been struggling with in my back, it's flaring up. Like, I've got serious cramps and pain going on.
Perfect. So we sit deeper in the pain, because when any pain and discomfort arises, that means we're moving through, not only energetically but structurally, the shifts that are taking place right now. So we can keep breathing through it. We're not trying to release it. We're actually sinking deeper into it, which allows more of it to come to the surface. And it also allows it to shift naturally, which then actually shifts quicker. Is there just pure tears and emotion, or is there anything else behind it and attached to it?
So the energy I'm sensing is support. So something about standing on my own 2 feet, which I can't do at the moment, or sit.
Because of the pain that you have right now in your physical body.
So I just want to give the viewers a reference. The old 3D version of releasing would have meant a lot of tears and a lot of explanation. But now I'm just feeling it. I can feel it release through. My eyes are liquid forms. There will be a tear or two, but not to the way that it used to be. But that's not to make crying wrong. It's just I'm able to do it quicker now.
Yeah, perfect. And it's your understanding of your cycles and your growth and where you're at.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So there's nothing wrong with crying in session. I'm just explaining that I felt the tears, I felt the sadness, quite overwhelming. And so just, as you say, dropping into it, moving beyond that, deeper into or what's the truth underlying it, or what's the perceived truth. All right, so it's about you, Tammie, my love, that she's felt she's wanted someone to do this. It's hard. The whole lot is complicated, and having somebody to do it with makes it easier. And it's not to say I haven't had support, it's just she's so grateful you're here that now she can surrender with somebody who gets it. So
beautiful. Thank you for sharing
that. So she's been waiting for you.
Oh.
So what I'm releasing now is the struggle and the pain that's been in the body, is that I have to do it all myself. I have to stand on my own 2 feet. I have to make this work on my own, and just giving up what that has meant for the last 4 years. So now I'm doing a little bit of repair work on the source of that pain in my body, that knot. I'm just going to do some DNA work in there. Okay, I need to stand up because it's really sore. I've got conflict of the vision is being stabbed quite high in my torso in the back, but the pain is in the lower back. So I don't think it killed me. I think I just held on to something in my lower back as a result.
Okay.
So I'm forgiving myself for all that I didn't know, for all that I believed I should have done, for holding on to the stress and creating this pain in the physical sense. The love started to flow through now.
Beautiful.
I'm just backfilling that space, both up the upper wound and where the tension was stored. Just healing with love. And then sending out, I don't know who it was, so I'll send out love to them. Now I'm getting the sense it was a friend.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So here's more sadness. So it was a friend, I don't know who, what context yet, but it was a friend who dobbed on me to save their own back, save their own skin, perhaps literally. So I'm just forgiving them, this entity. I don't know who it is. The pain is easing off my back a lot now.
Wonderful.
Yeah. It's nice. I've been on anti-inflammatories for about 6 weeks. So now I'm just going to expand that love out. You just got invited in.
Oh, why, thank you.
Yeah, so the message is you're here to help me heal all this old stuff. And I'm back.
Hello.
Hello.
You're back.
Let's get tissue. Oh, I haven't got any tissues. How are you? What did you experience?
I was just here.
Yeah, we hold space. So that was the 5 steps. Don't know how long that took. Probably 10 minutes.
No. How you going?
Light. Really
so
light.
So just connect in with your womb space. You don't have to close your eyes.
Yeah, there's still a bit of cellular healing to do in the area. It's quite, especially that lower, it's quite, it's a cellular memory. But there's a couple of days more, I think, just releasing, forgiving, releasing. Yeah, it's the tension that was in my tummy has been released. Yeah. Feels like there's flow through me, whereas before in reflection, there was like a block at that chakra, at that base point. Yeah. So now it feels. And do you remember me asking you, did you feel that? That was like a big expansion of energy, like a vortex above me, and it was coming down through. So when you said you were moving, I was wondering if you were feeling and sensing that too.
Yes, I was rocking.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Receiving.
Interestingly,
I normally receive energy down. This time it's feeling like it's coming up. Yes. Which is beautiful, because maybe your words at the start triggered me that I need to connect with Earth more. And interestingly, remember, I always feel I work with above. I've been resisting this spirit realm here. So maybe that's me opening a channel there.
And that seems to be quite common for me, for clients, people I work with or talk to.
Yeah.
I get that a lot. I work from the bottom up and always have, just naturally, whatever I've felt inclined to do. So for us to embody what we're also receiving now, when we're open up to these channels and these downloads and whatever else you want to call it, it's not coming from up there. It's just, as far as I'm concerned, it's coming from within. For us to be able to ground and get our feet into that earth and be more embodied in all that we are is really that shift into 5D.
I do think we need to balance both masculine and feminine, higher realms and spirit realms, and bring them all in harmony and balance to leverage everything to its beautiful abundant self, because that's where abundant comes from, that center point, not the collision but the merge of the two.
Totally.